Okay, I'm going to try and show you some regular sort of pentatonic type stuff, even though the first lick's got not strictly pentatonic. But basically, I want to show you some stuff that's sort of old school pentatonic stuff that sounds really good when played over rock changes and stuff like that. And the first thing is one I learnt years ago, but I think if you put a little bit of right hand muting on it, it can sound really good, and the lick sounds like this. And basically all I'm doing is in the A minor position is pulling off from 8 to 5. I'm doing real Gary Moore style, all down picks I think. Like that, and then all I'm doing is just sticking in the odd pull off from 7 to 5 as opposed to the 8. You can just basically make your mind up how many times you want to play it. Okay, there's a little pentatonic run that I do quite a lot, and it sounds like this. One more time. It's just a sequence. I'm basically pulling off from 8 to 5, then 8 to 5 on the B, then playing 8 high E, and then pulling off from 8 to 5 on the B, and then playing 7 on the G, and that's the sequence played once. Okay, then I play exactly the same thing on the next pair of strings, which will be 8 to 5 on the B. So I'm pulling off from 8 to 5. And then 7 to 5 on the G, and then playing that 5B, pulling off from 7 to 5 and finishing on that 7D, and then it's the same thing on the next pair. And then I just slide up. Another one that I do quite a lot, which is a real cheap pentatonic lick, but for some reason I keep playing it, is it sounds like this. Which is actually blues scale lick. You can play it either way, but I generally do it like that. And what you do is you just hammer from 5 to 7 on the A, and then do a hammer on and pull off from 5 to 7 on the D, and then play that 7 on the A again. So you could repeat it if you wanted to. I actually find it easier to move, so that's once around the sequence. And then what I do is I go from 5 to 7 on the D string. Same thing. Now I just catch that E flat blues note just because it's in a good place. No other reason apart from that. It's just sitting under my finger. Then I just finish it with a bend or whatever. And also I extend this lick as well by coming down. And the way you come down is to go 5 to 7, hammer on and pull off. Then pull off from 7 to 5 on the D in this case. Okay. The difference is, if you notice that when you go up, you're only using like a pair of strings, but when you come down, you're actually using 3 strings because you go. And things like that. So that's that whole lick. So you go hammer on and pull off up, hammer on and pull off up. So when you go up, it's just a hammer, hammer on and pull off. And then another hammer on and pull off from 5 to 7, pull off from 7 to 5, and then 7 on that A. That's the E note. You've got lots of little combinations that you can do there. Okay, there's another lick that I sort of stole from, it's kind of a little bit Richie Kotzen and a little bit Sean Lane, and it sounds like this. And what that is, it's going down groups of 5, and I'll just show you it slowly. So you go pull off from 8 to 5 on the high E, then pull off on the same thing on the B string. And then you just do that same idea coming down. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Now I use a similar lick coming up, but it's, I don't know why, but I don't repeat it. I do it different. And what I do is I hammer up from 5 to 7, and then 5 to 7, and then I go back 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next pair of strings. Next pair of strings. Next pair of strings. But I don't even normally get that far, to tell you the truth. But you can if you want to. So you can even start down there. Just do that lick there. 3rd to 5. 3rd to 5. Like that. So you can just come up and down that. And just move up and down. So I'll play through the sequence. I think it's important with these type of things to develop a sort of thing where you're not just running up and down the same things all the time. What you can do is you can vary it. You can play that one. And you can just move. I know I probably didn't do that too well, but just so you can move for all those things at any given moment. Okay, I'm going to do some fairly simple blues scale / pentatonic licks here. Just repetitive stuff. I still think this stuff sounds great. And for people that are still getting some sort of level of technique together, I think they're a really good place to start out. So first one I'll do, you probably already know this, but it sounds like this. And what I'm doing there is playing off the 14 on the G. It's kind of E minor pentatonic. And then playing a hammer on and pull off from 12 to 15 on the B string. And you'll notice I'm doing a sweeping action with the pick. You don't have to. You can alternate pick it if you want. If I alternate pick it, I tend to pick inside the strings and then go start on the B string. Like that. But if I do it the other way, I tend to sweep it. Just notice that little sweep across the string. And there's another one I do, I don't know if anyone else does this, but I sweep across this 14th fret G string, which is an A, to B, to high E, which is 12 and 12 on the B and high E string. And then what I do, I don't pick that note, I just slam my finger onto it and pull it off. And I tend to combine those two, so I'll go. Another couple of that I use like a blues scale lick that sounds like this, which is the same technique, hammer and pull off from 12. So you're just hammering on and pulling off from 12 to 15. And then just catching that 15 on the G there. And again, if I do it the other way round, I sweep it. And you can do a kind of Gary Moore thing here where you basically move it down a semitone and back up again. I'll show you that slowly. And if you palm mute with the right hand, it kind of adds a little something. The good thing about this lick as well is you can actually move it down from this minor blues position to major pentatonic. I wouldn't concern yourself too much with the theory, but if you're playing a kind of a, you know, like a blues, it could be like a Walking by Myself, where it's predominantly a major, but because it's a blues, you can use the minor key. You can take this lick all the way from the minor to the major. Like that, which is quite a nice effect. So that's another one that you can use. This one is like a sort of, well, it's been used by lots of people, probably popularised by people like Slash most recently, and it sounds like this. So you just push up this 15 on the B, catch that high E, and then pull off from 15 to 12. And then the next variation of that was you'd push that one, and then push that 14 G up a whole step or half step. Hope you can see what I'm doing there. And then the other variation is you can add this 15 on the high ear. Like that. Another pentatonic idea that I'm going to do here. I think I did this one earlier, but I do this one sort of quite regularly, and it sounds like this. And what I'm doing there is just hammering from 12B to 15B, then doing a hammer on and pull off from 12 high E to 15 high E. And then hammering on and pulling off again from 12 to 15 on the high E. Then pulling off from 15 to 12, and then playing the blues note on the 15th fret G string there. So the whole thing sounds like this slow. Okay, I want to show you a couple of blues scale licks that I do using pick and fingers. It's a little bit country, but they sound really, really cool, and they're quite, you know, sort of fast and not massively hard to play. And it sounds like this. And what I'm doing there is just picking that 10, it's in an E minor blues, just picking this 10 and going 10, 11, 12. And then with the second finger of my right hand, just striking that 10 on the high E. You can add a little bit of palm muting for that. And that's another technique that you can move around. The other one I do is like this. What I'm doing there is coming 10, 11, 12 on the B string, striking with my second finger that 12 high E, then picking that 12B and pulling off, coming down to 10. So let's just recap. And then hitting that 12G. And that's the same lick predominantly, just different position. Okay, I'm going to do something sort of in the style of Paul Gilbert. It's probably exactly the same, but I'm sure you'll notice the difference. And this lick is basically what he's doing here is this kind of effect. Now, every guitarist in the world wants to get a bit of speed into their playing, and you know, God bless you, there's nothing wrong with that. And what we're doing here, this is a kind of a little bit of an easier way, I think, of getting some speed going. And what you're basically doing is you're just playing this part of a Dorian scale, hitting the 5 on the high E string, hammering to 7 then 8, then pulling off, and then playing the 8 on the B. Or you can finger it like that if you want. I also use this on a blues scale thing as well, so I'll be going 5, 7, 8 on the B. Anywhere you want, really. You notice I did that. And then start the lick again. The way that you come up with that is just to go and then just straight up the string. Now you can move this through positions. We've done some positional stuff, so you'll know what I mean. You can move it through the positions. Up, so you go 7, 8, 10. And then you'll be playing 10 on the B. Move it up. Try and keep the A there as much as you can. So that'll be 8, 10, 12, and then pivoting off that 10B. The next one's slightly harder. You go 10, 12, 15, and then play that 13, which is the minor third. Then it's 12, 15, 17. And then play 15 on that B. This just reminded me of another lick, which I'll show you in a sec. And then finally, 15, 17, 20 on the high E. Finishing off on that 17B. So if you put it all together, it will sound like this. Okay, that lick I was going to show you, yes, it's reminded me of a Satriani one. It sounds like this. So good, I just couldn't stop doing it. Basically what you're doing there, get your left hand in the position of 12, 15, 17, and then 19 with the second finger, and you just go, tap it, pull off, pull off, pull off, hammer, hammer. And all I'm doing is changing the timing slightly. I don't know if you can hear that, but again, with this sort of thing, it hasn't got to be like, it's not like you're playing a groove like this and you've got to go, haven't got to be like dead in time. When you're playing a groove, you're just basically randomly. If you know your pentatonics, you can just move it around. Which I don't, obviously, because I got that wrong, but it should have been there, that's it. But it's normally a top string thing. Move it into your legato stuff or whatever you feel like doing. So that's a good one that you can use.